Today we're gonna find out if the Vertx Last Call is the last pack you'll ever need, or if its low profile looks but lack of organization make it worth investing in. Well folks, excited to be back with you, taking a little walk with my Last Call backpack from Vertx. Now when I saw this drop at SHOT Show 2019, I was really pumped. I was like, man, I love that style, kind of a European rucksack feel, very low profile. At the time, it seemed to be hitting a pretty good price point, you know. It just was really getting me excited because it's definitely different than most of the other everyday carry bags that I carry on a regular basis and that I've tested out and reviewed. So when Vertx was showing this off, you know, at SHOT Show, I was like, dang, I got to get my hands on it. As soon as it dropped on GP Knives, I picked one up. We'll have links below for you guys, and we'll talk about price a little later and competitive options. But yeah, they're definitely, now having used it for about 2 weeks straight as my everyday carry, some cool aspects to it and some major drawbacks that I'm going to highlight today for you, the positives and the negatives as we do here, and really break down and go through a thorough walkthrough, in my opinion, on the Last Call from Vertx. So with that, guys, let's go ahead and break it down. So again, folks, this whole idea of low profile is what we're going to be looking at here today. This is the canvas color version. It's almost a white. There are several other color combinations. They're all very low profile. You're not going to find any quote unquote tactical colors, OD green, tan at this time at launch. So this one is the canvas. They have like blue in canvas. I almost went with that model. They have an all black, and then I think they have like a black and gray hybrid, and then I think there's like one or two other ones that they have as color combinations, but you won't find any OD green or tan or coyote at this point in time. Now some basic specs for you is that this is a 20-liter pack with 19 and a half inches high, 11 and a half inches wide, and 5.5 inches deep. So for a day pack, very comparable to most other products on the market. A few other aspects. Now, it does not tell me at all what the denier, and I'm on the Vertx website when I'm doing this. They don't tell you the denier or thread count or anything like that. All it says is bonded nylon thread throughout with critical seams and attachment points, bar tacked for extra durability, Velcro brand hook and loop wherever you find the Velcro, YKK zippers that are self-repairing, coil zippers throughout, quiet positive grip zip pulls, 3D molded foam back, and then abrasion resistant mesh used on the insert pockets, and then right here as well, I believe would be abrasion resistant mesh along the shoulder straps as well. So if I was to guess on the thread count, denier count, you know, that this pack is probably around 500D. It's definitely not close to 1,000, but it looks durable. The seams look really well done. Obviously YKK, and I've had really good results with Vertx stuff. I've never had any quality control issues, and the quality and materials they use have always held up well to my use. And we will look at the laptop compartment in a little bit, but it does say that it will handle a 15-inch laptop. So I wanted to get that info to you right away throughout the video if you are looking at this as maybe a gear hauler to the office carrying a laptop. So one thing right out of the gate I wanted to point out is that they've done something better than some of the other Vertx water bottle pouches I've seen in the past. This will easily handle any 32-ounce Nalgene without any sort of issue. It's burying this 32-ounce Nalgene in there, so that it could easily handle my 48-ounce silo Nalgene as well. It's got this, you can see here, kind of elastic band kind of buried down a little bit to grip the bottle a little bit better. So I'm very happy with that. That's ambidextrous. You're gonna have two of those, one on either side. Now on the flip side, one of the major drawbacks that I see with this bag that I've been carrying and using is that there are no pockets that are accessible without having to open the flap, except for the CCW concealed carry compartment, which is on the side here that we'll look at in just a moment. But unless you're carrying maybe some thin documents or your firearm there, all organization is accessible only by detaching and then lifting up this flap. I think that's a little bit of a miss. This is a ginormous flap here, which is great, and it gives you a lot of capability in either slimming down the bag if you don't have a lot of gear or opening it up, and that's a really good thing. But they could have easily run, say, like a zipper right underneath this seam right here and given us some sort of a pocket right on this giant flap here, even maybe done dual zippers that give you two overlaying pockets with just some basic organization that you could throw maybe your wallet, some pens in, slim little pocket, things like that though, that are not offered in this design. So you're constantly having to detach these clips to get into any organization that the bag has to offer. I think that's a drawback to the design. Now the flap itself has that Velcro, brand Velcro right there, that's attached across, and then little panels right here to kind of give you a little bit of adjustment. Then you have the D-Flex clips right here, really good quality stuff, really sewn in well. So it gives you the ability, if the bag is stuffed out kind of like it is right now, to kind of expand it and almost make it like a flat shelf. If there's not a lot of gear in there, you can really slim it down and bring it down. Now when those are attached like so, then you have your straps right down here that have a lot of extra length on them. So they have little keepers, but you can make it really expand the heck out of this bag or cinch it down real low. So then you would attach these like that and you're good to go. Now some people won't mind that at all. Others will find it kind of tedious to constantly, again, to get into anything in the bag outside your water bottle or firearm. You're gonna have to go to these tabs, disconnect, and open, and you're gonna get a Velcro tear sound every time you do that. So some people, and I'm kind of more in this vein, kind of prefer zippers. They're a little quieter usually, and just a little less movement. You just grab your zipper pull, zip, and then you get into what you need. This, it's clip, clip, Velcro, tear open, and then Velcro back, clip, clip, every time you open and get access to the bag. And again, because there's no other organization outside of those two toggles right here in the flap, you're constantly having to do that. You can't even store little small items that maybe you're gonna use a lot in an exterior pocket. So again, in my mind, something of a drawback. So the main compartment is a large dump basically with a little bit of organization. So I just threw some extra stuff in there, but you could easily get, I would say 2 days worth of clothes. So you could use this as, like a quick business trip bag. If you didn't have to, maybe you're wearing your suit or you didn't have to wear a suit to your, travel. You could easily get 2 to 3 pairs of pants rolled up and 2 to 3 t-shirts and then underwear and socks to last you 2 to 3 days easily. So that's all in there in that big main mouth compartment. Then we do have sleeve, again, for your 15-inch laptop right there. This is all hook and loop back in here, so you could do their Tactigami or other Velcro-backed organizational pouches, pockets, those type of things. You do have your keeper for a water bladder. Now, there are no water bladder ports that I can find. I was looking all over this thing, but because it's just kind of like a flap and there's no zippers, I'm assuming they're just wanting you to run the bladder hose, your water bladder hose, out the corner, which would be easily done, not an issue at all, and then run it through your shoulder straps. So you could do a water bladder if you wanted to hit a quick hike after your excursion on your quick business trip, whatever it would be, seeing friends and family. Then for actual organization in the bag, this is about it. You have this little wider dump pouch that I could easily get like large hand sanitizer in, a few other items. You have this other one that you could fit a few pens in, and then you have one kind of see-through mesh pocket with a zipper, red-lipped, so you could kind of see it and high vis there. And then I just have a bunch of stuff that I threw in there because there's no other organization really in the bag at all. That's it. I mean, what you see is what you get. It's just a big dump pocket. And that's where you have your only organization that the bag is really going to offer you, unless you buy more Molle compatible pouches that we're about to look at in just a moment. So what I've definitely had to do is use my Rough Enough, and I will have a link in the description below for you guys. This is about $20. It'll fit a 13-inch laptop, so I can carry my iPad, books, power chargers. So this definitely helps with my organization. I slide that in to the laptop sleeve, or if I have my laptop with me, then I'll just put it in the main dump. You got to have something else to organize this if you're going to carry any type of larger amounts of gear that you would want organization in, because this is all you got. Now, one of Vertx's signature thing with their packs are hidden Molle compatible walls that you can fully expose as well. This bag does have it, and it's really the saving grace of the bag. Without it, I wouldn't be able to carry it at all, just because of the different pouches and organization that I look for in my bags. Now we have this pull tab right here with a piece of Velcro. There are a couple different ways that you can deploy this. You can kind of deploy it just like a stuff pouch, and then you could throw jackets and other organizational things and just dump bags in there if you wanted to. Or it has 2 zippers all the way along. Again, YKK, good tabs there. Or it has these detachable straps with plenty of extra space there that you could put a helmet in, larger pouches, larger organization, huge jackets. You could stuff in there. Now there's a pass-through right there, or you can completely disconnect these just by squeezing. You pop that thing loose, And there is a secondary loop right here for this that you could run it further out and attach right there if you needed to. You can completely unzip and open it, and then you can have a completely exposed Molle compatible and Velcro wall. And so in this case, I have a medical kit that I've Velcroed right there, and another kind of survival kit that I have Molle compatible and attached to the wall. I hope you like that, Molle compatible, palled to the wall. So usually this is how I will run it, is I will have this like a flap that when I need to get into some of these things, I just unzip, get access, zip it back up, close it up, low profile. If you want to, you can stuff this entire panel underneath the Molle compatible wall right there. And then you just always have the Molle compatible wall exposed. You flap this over. You know, you could absolutely rock it that way, and then you'd have quicker access to these gear items, and I don't think it would look overly tactical. Now, you will lose your Velcro hook and loop morale patch portion if you decide to go that way. This Molle panel has to Velcro close right there, and then that would block your any patches. Now, you could obviously put them up here, but there's lots of versatility in that aspect of the bag. And I'll be honest with you, without this Molle compatible wall and my ability to attach my med kit and attach my little survival kit there, I wouldn't be able to carry this at all. I would just have this big giant dump bag basically, and it wouldn't, I can buy that almost anywhere from any other brand. So thankfully this wall is here. Now that we've put everything back together, one other thing I want to point out with that little patch wall right here, which is about 2 inches by about 6 inches in diameter, is that's perfect for your morale patches. I got my Gideon's Tactical patch and my Say When from one of the greatest movies of all time. Tombstone, about 10 bucks. Those will be in the Amazon links that we offer to you guys below. The downside is that if you are putting any sort of pouches on that Molle wall and then using this back piece to cover them up, it now makes it almost impossible to see what those morale patches are. Now, if you don't really care about morale patches, not a big deal. For me, I like to sport a morale patch or two, and it makes it useless. I'm like, I might as well not even put it on there because of the angle. No one can see it. So it would have been nice for them to have another one here. A little bit of a drawback if you're into morale patches. All right, guys, so we're gonna break down price here with you real quick. Now, I paid about $135 over on the GP Knives website. I will have a link in the description below there, as well as to Amazon. They've just recently dropped on Amazon, so you can check both of these out if you are looking at this pack, and after this video, you still feel like it's something that you wanna invest in. Really appreciate when you guys use those hyperlinks. But for that $135 price point, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think it's overpriced. The lack of organization that this has means that I have to spend more money if I wanna do any sort of organization with other PALS compatible pouches and organization, sleeve add-ons to organize my tech, and it's just basically like a dump bag, a good quality dump bag. Vertx makes good stuff, but I would way rather go with the Vertx ready bag, everyday ready bag or everyday carry bag that we've previously reviewed, about the exact same price, way more organization, and the same size. I would look at something like the 511 LV18 or 511 Dart 24. I mean, all those packs are gonna have way more organization and be at the exact same price point and quality levels from everything that I'm seeing with this bag. So if this was more around like $90 to $100, I think it would be a little bit more doable, and it wouldn't be as big a deal to try and invest in some of the organization that you're gonna need, the extra level of organization. But at $135, in my opinion, there's just better stuff out there that has better organization for you, unless this particular style is really, really connecting with you. Then you're paying $135 for the low visibility style than you are for any sort of actual performance from what I've seen. So as we flip this thing and look at the front, this is a very comfortable bag to wear. Now, usually my everyday carry stuff, and I've talked about this sometimes, it's about 15 pounds total with technology and tablets and books and computer and, you know, little survival pouch and medical kit and water and all that stuff. It adds up to about 15 pounds. So, I mean, if I got to walk 2 miles maybe because I dropped my car off somewhere and, you know, got to walk back to the office for, you know, doing a repair on it or whatever, or if I just had to get home, it's about a 5-mile walk back home. This needs to be able to hold the load well. It holds the load well for an everyday carry type of bag. Now, it has this nice yoke system, really like that a lot, very comfortable, distributes the weight well. You are gonna have 2 little attachments here that, again, just look low profile. That's gonna be able to feed your water bladder through if you wanted to, and then these are also the same thing, passable. so you could attach little items if you wanted to. It's kind of like Molle, but you know, you couldn't tell, so you could put some sort of pouch right there, tactigami, whatever you would want. That mesh is very breathable, hugs your clothing as well. I'm glad that they went kind of like slick, you know, foam back here and then mesh on the shoulder straps, because it kind of grips to your more nylon slick clothing, jackets, that type of thing. I prefer that over when they put this type of like rigid material on the inside of some packs from some brands. 511 tends to do that a lot. Then it kind of tends to slip off your shoulder if you're carrying it just over one shoulder just to walk into the office. So this kind of grips your clothing, breathes well. Something that I did notice is that the strap all the way through is 3 inches. It's about 3 inches all the way down, kind of tapers down to 2.5 way down here. So it's a pretty wide, and again, that helps distribute the load. But if you have really narrow shoulders, if you're a female, something like that, you may kind of notice it. I noticed it, and I'm a big guy at 6'2", about 215 pounds. So I noticed it. Most of my other bags that I measured are between 2.5, and I'm thinking like 5'11" Rush 12s, and some other 5'11", some Van Quest. I measured their width right around this area, and they're usually about 2.5 to like 2.8 inches. This is 3 to 3.1 all the way through. So it's a little wider, so just kind of frame of reference there for you. Wanted to let you know it never bites in just because of the cloth, and the material is all nice and comfortable in that regard. Now they have a hidden sternum strap on a ladder system, so it's completely removable, which I love, and it's just cool that it's kind of hidden in that. And I always am looking for an everyday carry bag. It's got to have a removable sternum strap, but have the ability to attach a sternum strap. Otherwise, I won't buy it. I won't carry it. It's on a track system that I can't remove. I don't like that because I normally around town won't use a sternum strap. But if I need to cinch down the load, go on a day hike, whatever it was, and I was using this bag, I would absolutely want the sternum strap. So that is completely removable if you want, again, with those D-Flex clips. As we move along, no belly attachment at all. So that's something to note. There's no belly strap. It's just the sternum strap and the shoulder straps. And again, you do have that nice rigid foam. I like that. There's no issue that I have. I like the mesh on the shoulders, rigid back, works for me. Now it does have a pass through here that you could slide this over a luggage arm if you have like rolling luggage, or you could literally use it like a Captain America shield, because inside this compartment right here, we have hook and loop right here on this panel. Huge wall of hook and loop, so you could put firearms, magazines, other organizational gear, whatever you would like, all right there. Then here is slick nylon. We have a Velcro keeper right here to keep the rigid plastic frame in place, but I could remove that and put in a piece of armor, a plate of armor that I could use, you know, when I carry to the my school, my office, whatever it would be. And then I have basically a body armor piece on my back, and then I could put my arm through this panel right here and use it like a shield. So that's a really cool feature to have. And then it has, again, Vertx kind of signature, the large pull handle if you were going to use this to deploy a firearm from inside, and it does have luggage lock loops as well. And usually what I will do, because I don't usually carry my firearm in there, I carry it on my body, but I'll just stuff that away and then zip up the other zipper like that and have it off to the side. Well, there you go, folks. I hope this video has just been informative, helped you out, showing you my opinion on the last call. Really cool, with a little bit more accessibility and a little more organization. I think this could be a really cool bag to just justify the price. I'm just having a hard time with that price for the lack of organization. And for me, because of such a lack of organization, I just have other bags that are about the same price that have just better layouts for me, that connect with me more, that are still pretty low profile. So this will not be something that I put in regular rotation, regular everyday carry, compared to a lot of the other backpacks that you've seen tested and reviewed here. It's just not quite what I was hoping it would be. Maybe they'll do an update in the future, and they'll maybe tweak some of these things, make it a little bit more useful and more accessible for the gear that you have inside your last call. But that's ultimately up to you to make that call on whether or not this backpack is right for you. Thank you guys so much. Subscribe if you're not a current subscriber. We're throwing up videos every single week. Invite you to become part of the GT family. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, doing stuff over there all the time. And yeah, guys, you're awesome. As always, stay equipped, stay prepared. We'll see you out there.